Hi, this is Metal Frontman series, and we have CJ McCreery here as a guest today.
Hello.
Hi, thank you for taking some time to sit down with us.
Absolutely.
First, I'd like to know a bit about your background when it comes to metal music. When do you recall hearing heavier music for the first time?
My transition into metal music was so strange and different from most people that I've toured with. But I went pretty straight from super mellow, alternative rock. And then I don't know if these bands are popular over here, but do you guys have Red Jumpsuit Apparatus? Do you know them? No, it's fine. They're big in America, but there was a couple of screaming parts in one of their songs, and then a screaming part in 30 Seconds to Mars, and I was like, yo, this is I need more of this music. So I went to the music store in America back then. It was called FYE, and you could scan the CDs and get little snippets of what the album sounded like. And my goal was to go in and find the most messed up looking album art, because I figured that would have the most screaming in it. And I found the Hell Chose Me album by Carnifex, and it was a priest, a burnt priest holding a lamb head or something. I was like, this looks like it's gonna have what I want on it. And I did the little sample, and I listened to it, and I was like, this is it right here. And then from there, it was just straight deathcore from there. I didn't really have the transition of that most people had, the Atreyu and Lamb of God and stuff. I listen to them now; they're super cool. But most people slowly transition from heavy to heavier to heavier to heavier. But I just went straight to it. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much how I got into this stuff.
What was in the heavier music that caught your attention and made you become a musician?
Probably the same as every other metal vocalist, angry music, angry kid, you know what I mean? Just going through shit growing up and listening to the lyrics, and the angry music just got me pumped up. So yeah, probably the same as most other people.
Did you have some people you looked up to around that time? And who are your biggest role models these days?
Carnifex was huge for me, yeah. Carnifex, same band I was just talking about, Scotty and Lewis. He was a big part of me getting into deathcore and everything I do now. So yeah, he's probably the biggest one, I'd say. A lot of my other influences, my main vocal influences, are kind of not as popular names, but the original vocalist from A Virgin's Crown, Colin Jeffs, I think his name is, huge influence of mine. Jamie Hanks, original vocalist of I Declare War, huge one for me too. And then I think James Mislow from King Conquer. Those are my three top ones that kind of molded my voice into what it is today.
Have you got any chance to talk to your role models ever?
I never talked to them. No, I never did. I would love to, but I met Jamie on tour once from I Declare War, but I don't think I've talked to any other ones, no.
When you started singing, did you take any influence from other musicians, or did you find your own style and voice from the beginning?
I realized doing metal vocals, you can try to sound like who you want to, but the more you do it, you're going to end up creating your own voice anyways. And whenever I was doing vocal lessons and stuff, that's what I would tell people whenever I was giving them lessons. Don't stress about trying to not sound like someone too much, because you're going to sound like you anyways. So yeah.
How long did it take for you to learn the right technique for singing?
I was messing my shit up pretty good for probably 3 years. And then my first band, Signs of the Swarm, we got pretty popular pretty quick. Immediately went from playing little tiny bars to going on international tours. So I was like, okay, I need to figure this out and stop hurting myself. So I went and did the Melissa Cross vocal lessons, and she saved my ass with all that stuff. So yeah, I'd say 3 years. Then I got the proper lessons, and I was pretty much good from there.
Have you changed your technique or style through your career as you've been in different bands?
I have recently been including a little bit more fry vocals. I used to not do any fry vocals, but now I like to mix two and two together. So yeah, that's the only really recent thing that I've done.
Do you have any warm-up routines before going on stage? Has that changed over the years? What kind of routines?
I have the same ritual for the last 7 years probably, yeah. And half of it comes from that Melissa Cross lessons that I took. And then I do my green tea, the throat coat tea, and then honey and all that stuff. And yeah, I do a 15-minute vocal warm-up every time. So yeah, same thing every time, yep.
Are there any foods or drinks you avoid before shows that you feel they harm your vocal cords?
I avoid any hot sauce, anything acidic. I don't drink, unfortunately, before the shows, even though I want to. But yeah, alcohol, hot foods, those are pretty much two big ones. Those I'll notice a big difference. So yeah, I stay away from those.
Is there something you always eat or drink? Something that you've found good?
Before a show, I'll do Greek yogurt and stuff, and then my green tea and shit like that. And then just eat super light, grilled chicken and salads and stuff like that.
Looking back at your discography, are there other specific moments you feel you have taken major steps forward as a vocalist?
Well, there was a big gap from my like my previous album to my most latest album, so I had a lot of time to practice and like just improve my techniques from the last Lorna album to my current album now. So yeah, I'd say I've improved a good bit just from the time frame between those two albums. I'd say, yeah.
Are there some tracks that have been very challenging for you to sing, like through your career, that you remember that have been very challenging?
Yeah, like Signs of the Swarm, The Cesspool of Ignorance, that was an ass beater for sure. That was a fast song. The Lorna songs, I'm trying to think of what one was the toughest for that. This Is Hell was a fast one in Lorna, and then this band, There Is No Light's a super fast ass beater too. So yeah, that one I'm dreading to play live, but we gotta do it. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Are there some tracks or albums that you are specifically proud of?
I'm proud of all of them. Yeah, they were all like pretty big milestones in my career, like all together. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked on all of them equally.
Is there any track that is like your absolute favorite?
I don't know. I guess I don't really have like a favorite off the top of my head now.
How do you compare singing like Lorna Shore songs and Immortal Disfigurement songs?
My style, I think, is so similar in both the albums. I'd say that I don't notice like too much of a drastic difference. I'm still doing like all the crazy techniques and shit that I was doing before. You know what I mean? So no, it feels pretty similar. I'd say.
What were your parents' reactions when they first time heard you were singing in a metal band?
Probably the same as every other parent, you know what I mean? Like, what the hell is this? Like, what are you doing? But my mom's been super supportive, like, since day one. I mean, obviously, whenever I first showed her this, she was like, what the hell? Like, what is going on here? But she supported, like, everything that I've done, like, from day one. So even though, she didn't quite get it at first, she grew into it. I mean, she likes it. She doesn't, like, listen to it on her free time or anything, but she's like, go do your thing, you know what I mean? She's rooting for me. So, yeah, she's been awesome through it all.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would like to say to young metal vocalists that are just starting their journey?
Yeah, first of all, like, keep doing it, but get lessons, because the sooner you get lessons, the sooner you can break bad habits. And because breaking bad habits is the hardest thing of properly getting into vocals, because like I said, I was doing lessons before, and the longest part of the lesson was breaking someone's bad habit to get them to do the proper way. There's no like right time to get into it. Like if you've never done vocals in your life, get lessons then, because it's easier to teach someone, if that makes sense.
What kind of hopes and dreams do you have for the future in what comes to music?
Just go as far as we can, you know what I mean? Just get as big as we can, just be as successful as we possibly can be. Every other artist's dream, you know what I mean?
Is there any like milestones you would like to achieve?
I don't know. I mean, this festival seems awesome. I want to keep doing this stuff, you know what I mean? So yeah, we just want to keep doing exactly what we're doing right now.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Yeah, absolutely.